Hello everyone, it's the FarmSim guy here. Hope you're all doing well. Every now and again you're just browsing the internet and you come across a little bit of a gem of a map, and I found Honville on King Mods the other day, and I have to say I'm really impressed with it, so I thought I would show it you guys. You know me, I'm not a guy that does a map tour of every map that comes out. It has to be a map that kind of resonates with me, has got character, has got personality. You know, I find it hard to measure a map based on a score or something like that. It's just got to... Maps are very personal to everybody. So one person's perfect map is another person's worst map in the world, and vice versa. So with Honville, I think I found one of those maps that just ticks the boxes for me in terms of it feels lived in, it feels alive, it feels appropriate to the area as well. You know, this is a French map. I am a lazy person when it comes to maps. I'm British, so I like a British map, and I like American maps due to, you know, history with my family and my dad working over there and stuff, and I tend to kind of stick to them and tend to not look at European maps that often, so I decided to make a little bit of an effort to branch out a little bit more, and I'm really, really taken with this one. Some lovely features in it. It feels very French, which I think is important. None of the base game buildings and things like that. We've got absolutely a well thought through map. So while we have a quick look around the first yard, I'll give you a little bit of background to this. So this is from a map maker called the FS22, and he has converted this from FS19. The original modder SJV5 created this for FS19 and has given him permission to update it for FS22. And here's what he said about it. First of all, I would like to thank SJV5 as well as the various modders for their authorizations concerning the maps and the buildings. This is a conversion of the FS19 version that I improved and brought back to my taste for FS22. Honville is a small hamlet of Beauce, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, in the central Loire Valley in France. On this map you will find more than 350 hectares of cultivatable land on fairly large plots, typical of the Beauce region. The map has 2 farms, a BGA, but also aerobic digestation, as well as 6 points of sale split across 2 sites. Honville is compatible with the Precision DLC, and it also has custom crops, so it has drum wheat, spring barley, lentils, rye, and peas. In addition to that, it also has mustard, which you treat like the radish as a cover crop. When you plow that under, it brings fertilization to the soil. Multi-terrain angle, additional details to bring the map to life as well. There's lots of planes flying about, there's trains, there's lots and lots of character to the map. It's really, really nice from that specific detail. He said as well that this is a map that he modified for himself originally, so it's the way he wanted it, and this happens a lot with maps, and mods as well, I suppose, that this is his interpretation of it, and something that he wanted to play on, and he's released it to everybody else. So you have to respect that. If it's not quite what you want, understandable. I know people like to maybe delete buildings and stuff like that, but in a map like this, I think with real life location maps, it's okay if they want to keep the buildings the way they are, because that's how it's been created. Slightly different when it comes to an imaginary map or a map that's fictional, but in situations like this, I think it's really important to respect the modder's wishes in that circumstance. On top of that, French number plates, custom crop calendar, and we'll have a look at the PDA as well, and some of the field prices as we go on. So let's do that first before we have a little bit of a drive around. But already you can see here the building's lovely and in keeping. Feels very French. I have to say I've not spent much time on French farms, but I've certainly spent a lot of time on farms in Germany and European farms, and it does feel very European indeed, so I really like this already. But let's jump into the PDA and let's have a look at that. So there we go. As JF28 said, large fields, which are typical for the region. It is a standard size map with 32 fields in total. Let's find, there we go, 22 looks like the biggest. That's sitting there at 293,500. Smallest field, I think, could be either 35 or 15 here. That's 18,000. 36 there is 18,000 as well. Maybe 13 over here as well is quite small. 29,000. So you've got some choices there. Now, if I just turn that back on, that's what you get when you start. So you own all the roads and things, which is great. You own the BGA, which is great. And then you have 4 fields. And I like the fact they've not been clumped together as well. You've got 4 fields, but you get to travel over the map to work on them, which is a nice touch. Not everybody does that. So I think sometimes you can be guilty of just playing in one small corner of a map because that's the fields you own and never seeing the rest of the map. So this is a nice alternative to have to do that. So there we go. While I'm in here as well, have a quick look at the custom crop calendar there. You can see we've got overlapping through September and August for planting and harvesting. There's the additional crops as well. I will have to do some translations for you at some point. They are all in French, but it's pretty easy to remember once you've got your head around it. And very easy as well, actually, to go into the XML if you want to update them and edit them for your language. You can do that as well. So let's have a look at those additional crops as well, shall we? So, and I apologise straight away for my potential pronunciation errors here, but blé d'Or is durum wheat, and over here orge de printemps is spring barley. Moutarde, pretty straightforward, that one is mustard. Seagull is rye. Pois is peas, you better remember that from school. A lentil, I think pretty self-explanatory there, is lentils as well. So all of those additional crops in, which is great to see. So we are here right in the middle. We have one farm here right in the middle of town. We'll drive around the town here. This is Honville, the town. We'll have a quick look at that. But equally, we've got a big sell point down here with a few different options. Our BGA is just here, and we've got another batch of sell points here. So what we'll do, we'll drive into the town, drive around the town, because the town is beautiful. Very nicely done. And then we'll go and head look at some of the other areas, give you an idea for the fields. The fields are big, which is great. And then we'll drive down to the other sell points as well and have a look at those. But for now, let's jump in quickly while we're here, though. This is the farmhouse. There's your sleep trigger. I've left the triggers on for now, so you can see where things are. But the fact you can go inside is quite nice. Can't always do that with houses. Over here is our liquid. I think this is a herbicide fill point. Again, translations here. If I click down here and zoom in slightly, you click on it. Air de Pouve, and I do believe that translated as spray area. And it actually, if you go and do the trigger on here, tip to trigger, it only gives you herbicide as an option. So that is where you would fill your herbicide. In here is storage. Again, look at the nice old stone textures, very nice indeed. Over here we have grain storage. So you have got a silo on site as well. There we go, tip and load in here. And you can get out onto the road as well. And there you are. There's the town sign as well. Again, looking over here, you can see the size of these fields. Huge fields. Really, really nice. Very nice indeed. So let's go back in here. We're going to jump into our appropriately European Amarak truck. And we're going to go for a little drive around. You can see all the kit in the sheds there. We'll touch on that in a little while, actually. So you know what you get from starting equipment. But let's head out of the gate here, which is around here. Let's head into the town. So there we go. You know, even details like these concrete telegraph poles, very French, the way that the houses and these lovely walls, these stone walls and brick walls, are on top of the road. Look, there's the Laughing Cow. A long way from home. Here is the shop, actually. This is the dealership. Very nice. And look, even in the back gardens there of that house, you know, there's greenhouses and things like that. There's There's lots going on. Again, something I love is detail, like clothes washing, hanging outside. That kind of attention to detail makes it feel like there's other people here, even if there's not. And again, let's just head up here a little bit. Look, artisan boulanger pâtissier. So again, effort to put the right kind of signs and things in is really, really nice. All these roads we can go through here. Actually, this is the second farm. There's another sleep trigger here. You can see that at the door of the house there. They're renovating the house slightly as well, but more sheds here, which is nice. We don't own this yet, so you'll not see the triggers. But even if I jump out here, there's our silo. Open the bay doors, and there you go. It all goes into there. But look at all this stuff lying around. It's just really, really nicely put together, I think. Some real efforts and thought has gone into how they've been put together. Again, even over here, look, houses being built, things like the town feels lived in, and you'll see these a lot around the map as well. These are power towers, shall we call them that? They're basically holding electricity in those electricity towers, very in keeping with the region. And there we go. Look at that. Lots of attention to detail. Very nice indeed. So we'll head out of here. And we will head over to the first batch of sell points. We'll drive through the town a little bit more so you can get a feel for it. Then we'll head out into the open roads, into the fields a bit. A few little flashes on the textures as well. Reading the comments on the website, he said there's a few things he's going to try and tidy up, and people have been flagging a few things. It's only been released for about a week now, so I'm sure there'll be a little update or something coming. But let's head out of here, through the town. But it's really nicely done. Feels like a lovely rural town somewhere in the Loire Valley in France. Very nice. You can run out of here, and then already you can see the sell points just over there. Again, very French. Some of these elements have a feel to the Italia map, if you know what I mean. Again, similar part of the world, and just has that same kind of character and feel to it. Lovely little rise in the road here as well. Very narrow road, but this rise is quite nice because actually if you stop at the top of it you can start to see down into the distance there. It's the size of some of those fields. Really nice. And look at this, the express train as it passes under. You can hear that passing, and actually if you look the other way there is one coming the other way as well, just over there in the distance. So those are really nice touches as well. I like that. Right, we've got no time to be hanging around for trains. We've got a lot of a map to show you. You can see over there we've got some pivots. They are all decorational, and they have no collisions on them as well. So if you're running vehicles too close to them, you're not going to have any issues with crashing into them. Big telegraph or power lines through the fields as well there. I'm going to run a little courseplay test before the end of this vid to make sure that the islands are on there. So if you're running a combine on courseplay, you can avoid those. Let's just pull into here. There's a few little sell points and buy points in here. So the weighbridge works. The numbers change when you drive over it. So over here we have got a line buy point just there. You can see that. Around here we have got, this is a silo, so this is for loading and unloading, so you can store here. Now we just turn around, there's the silo for storing stuff in, but equally just here we have got a sell point as well. So obviously tipping into here, we'll tip it into the train carriages and they're taken off to be sold somewhere else. So you've got the option to hold it here. You don't want to sell it straight away, or you can just sell it whenever you like. But again, look at these vehicles just lying around. Just detail is lovely. Trailers, lots and lots of things going on, so it does feel very, very lived in, like I said. Oh, somebody didn't shut the door when they were finished. Hope that doesn't smell too bad. Right, let's head out of here. And we'll jump back into the map quickly and decide where we're going to go next. So there we are. We are sitting there looking over these fields here. Not much more to see here, but what I probably will do, rather than drive back through the town, I'll drive along here, around here, and back up through here, so you get a little bit of a feel for some of these big fields and what they're doing. Oh, we'll go over this other rail bridge as well. So, I have to say, for a 2x or a standard size map, 2 kilometre by 2 kilometre map, it feels it's the size of the fields, I think, but it makes it feel a lot bigger. Makes it feel like you're travelling longer distances because of the size of the fields. Here we are at the junction, and again you can see the size of the fields. So you could get some big kit in here and you know, work it quite fun with some large equipment. There's those power towers again I talked about before. And again, just as you pivot right on the side of the road there, we'll drive around. The draw distance is lovely. It's got a really good map border. One of my bugbears with 22 is the amount of maps that have really poor borders on them. But actually, the continuation of the map behind the border is very good. There is no gaps in the border. You don't fall off the edge of the earth when you get too close of it. Nice to see that. Nice to see that little bit of extra effort going into making sure that the border of the map is very nicely done. Lots of little paths and roads to get access into the fields, which is nice as well. And I do love this little raised section for these bridges. I do think that's nicely done and landscaped well as well. There's the train track again. I do believe there's a train coming. They're very, very regular in this town, so you're never going to be short of a train track. Let me just pull up the map so you can see whereabouts we are. So there's the town again. We'll have to turn into the town, I believe, because this road just heads off down into fields in the middle of nowhere. Bus stops as well, you know, appropriate signage as well. That's nice to see. Again, just lots of nice little details. I'm sure it's 0.5 of a mile to Honville. I think it's about 0.5 of a metre. Let's turn here. Again, that's the back entrance to our farm, I think. But again, these lovely stone buildings, really nicely done. Houses, all very much in keeping. So, yes, here we are. We're heading down to the second batch. Quite a big set of sell points here. Nice wide open fields as well. Look, with borders, there's no fences or anything like that, so we should be pretty good for workers, and auto drive and course play and things like that should give you a lot of scope. The fields aren't too close together as well, so you should pick up your field borders if you're using course play, which is great. And it just generally is a very nicely put together map, I have to say. Right, here we are. Here's our second batch of sell points. Let's roll into here again. Another weighbridge that works. There we go. Beautifully done. Now I have left the interactive markers up just for the purposes of this, so you can see where everything is. But we've got our bale sell point there, and we roll around here. We have got fertilizer and lime here again, so you can buy both of those there. Over here you have your sugar beet sell point, just in there. And if we go on a little bit further, I believe we have got our potato sell point down here. Yes, there we go, the other end of the shed, potato sell point. So I'll just head back up here now, because there is another one to show you up here, which is the big grain sell point. And I will jump into the map actually, because I want to just walk you through the names of these. There's the grain sell point there. And finally, if we go round here and double back on ourselves, we have liquid fertilizer purchase point and gas and repairs there. So there you go, everything covered off. Even got Renault trucks. Very French. Right. Let's jump back into the PDA and I'll just talk you through these names because they are in French. And once you know what they are, you'll do a lot better. And I actually will put these in the description for the map as well, so anybody else who wants to download and play this map doesn't have to go scrabbling around with Google Translate to work them out. So here we are down on the right hand side of the map. So there you go. There's your fuel sell point there. That is your bale sell point. SCAB is your grain sell point. You have your lime station and a station of fertilizer there. The sucrerie, which is your sugar beet sell point, and over here is your potato sell point. Just for clarification as well, up here, that one is grain silo, that one is lime silo, and Axrael is your other sell point. After that, we've only got the BGA up here, so what we'll do, we'll head back to the town, we'll drive up, have a quick look at the BGA, but that's pretty much it. Just a lovely big map with lots and lots of beautifully big fields for you to work on, and a generally high level of detail and quality. And some rather nice weather as well, might I add. You can see one of the planes in the sky there as well. Again, just there's lots of stuff going on, lots of stuff I keep spotting as I'm driving around it. So let's just head down here. I believe there's a narrow turning here and the road that heads down to the BGA, or we must check the starting equipment as well, because it's actually a really nice set of starting equipment. Again, well thought through. So onto one of the narrower roads here, but again you can see there's enough grass verge and space between the fields to give it a little bit of breathing space for when you're turning tractors around at end rows and things like that, which is great. Here we go. Here's the BGA. Other side of the road as well, we've got another farm, houses, storage there as well, so another starting area if you want it. Some lovely, huge bunkers, it's fair to say. Can't argue with that. Got a water fill point there. There's our BGAs, there's our tip point for silage. And there is our tipping point for, I'm guessing, this is for, yes, our production chains, there we go. You can see what's happening there. Don't believe that slurry cell point. You see the flickering ground slightly. There's like texture issue there, but nothing huge. There's our slurry fill point as well, or our digestate fill point. So there you go. Nicely laid out BGA. Lots of space for turning around and reversing and things like that. So very good. Just run across the road here as well. So you can see this, the last little area, a broken down combine there. Oh, smoking fire, again, lovely little touch. Places like this are never immaculate and clean, so it's lovely to see that stuff. Right, back onto the road, back to Honville town itself, and there you go. Beautifully, beautifully designed little map. I am very impressed with this. Something a little bit different, but you know, good quality maps are good quality maps no matter where they are in the world, and this is one of them. So let's head back to the farm here. We'll do that quick look at your starting machinery if you're in new farmer mode, and we'll take things from there. Right, we promised we would do a courseplay test, didn't we? So let's just see if we set this field up, if we are going to get to avoid the power lines through the middle of the field. So let's do this. Let's just stick 4 headlands on. We want island bypass mode on circle, and let's just do that and see what happens. And if I click off here, you can see that we have got our islands. Excellent. So that's a big tick in the box as well. Right. We'll just have a look at this starting machinery. There's a lot of green here. It must be a John Deere area of the world. I did see that the dealership was a John Deere dealership as well, so they're clearly selling a lot of tractors at the moment. So here we go. What do you start with? Small tractors. You have got a 6M there, and then in your mediums you've got a 6R and a 7810. Both John Deere's, both brand new, no hours on them. We've got a T560 for your combine. The car I bought, so that doesn't come with it. A couple of crampy trailers for hauling those the grain from those large fields. There we go. A 625 header, John Deere header, a Capello corn header there. You've got a Cavernal plow, Lemken cultivator. Disc harrow, the K brand power harrow. You've got another K brand seeder, planter, big roller there as well. You've got a nice sprayer, a fertilizer, dry box sprayer, header trailer, and wait. So that's a lovely set of starting equipment. You're wanting for nothing there. You could literally go through the whole, unless you're going to do potatoes or root crops, you've got everything you need from the off, which is really nice to see. Very nicely done. So, there you go. Honville from JF28, which is a conversion of SJ V5's original Honville for FS19. And I think it's fantastic. What a lovely, lovely map. Always nice to find a little gem every now and again. So, on that note, I will say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy this map. I hope you download it and give it a go. It's very nice. It really is. But for now, from me, the FarmSim guy, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye for now.